I want to share some of my final thoughts after putting some reasonable everyday mileage into these travel inspired and adventurous hats, and just make sure you have everything you need to know when it comes to picking up your next getaway hat, or two or three. It can get pretty addictive. Now I've got 6 different styles we're going to be checking out today, one of which is their newly released Bali bucket hat. Unstructured hats, we have the PLH 2.0, the Scout Ultra Suede, the PLH 2.0 Ultra Suede, and for the semi-structured, we have the Blanco Ultra Suede and the Universal Ultra Suede. Anti-wrinkle, anti-stain, anti-smell. They are also weatherproof or water resistant depending on the particular styles. I find them just very breathable throughout the days. There's no sweat spots, it doesn't discolor, and they're also super lightweight. I will say across all the outfits, what has been a surprising favorite of mine is the Bali bucket hat. I'm more of like a snapback or just a typical flat hat person. But since I've got a chance to wear the Bali bucket hat, how it outfits and just how comfortable it feels, I've increasingly just opted for this one over the others, especially when it's super hot. Just gives me a bit more shading around my peripheral, especially towards the back. It's got malleable EVA brim, so you can kind of flip it up and down. You can lean it upwards or you can lean it towards the front. This detachable adjuster, I actually think this really adds to the charm of the Bali bucket hat. And it's also really smooth, so you can go for a super tight fit if it's kind of breezy by the ocean or you just want a more solid fitting. I like to just have it looser because it sits on my head very well. You can take it off, but I don't find these getting in the way of my head at all, so I generally just leave it on. Talking of that ultra suede, you can find it on the inside lining throughout. Really feels super plush. This one is DWR coated, so it's water repellent. I don't get any sweat buildup here because of those ventilation panels. I've worn it across more smart casual, very leisure and very summer outfits, and I find it just pairs amazingly well. So I feel like a bucket hat is just one of those staples for the summer. You can adjust the fit even more by just cinching this down. If you want an even tighter hold, it's going to cinch the base of the brim, and yeah, it's just going to give you even more stable hold. Now, since I'm going to change my outfit with the rest of these different colored hats, then I'm going to go ahead and we can talk about the Universal Ultra Suede. This has the same Toray Ultra Suede headband, a Getaway debossed on that inside lining, the same small tab minimal branding towards the back. And this takes the form of your kind of like a classic truck hat. It's got a more shaped feel than it does with the unstructured. And this is just an all black version. It's super breathable towards the sides and the back. It's got that fully breathable, ventilated. I find myself wearing this in the gym. The black is just very incognito. I can go in, work up a sweat. This is going to absorb it all and then wick it away. Look at the inside brim. So it is pre-curved, but it's very malleable. You can either soften it or give it more of an aggressive curve. This suits better as just like a front styled rather than the back. You can, it kind of curves down, but it definitely suits best worn at the front. Alright, so I've switched up to the blue because we're going to talk about the PLH 2.0. Now this is the standard edition and I've got it in a navy, and you're still going to get great quality materials. If you are going to the ocean, going for a dip in the waterfalls or just swimming in the pool, if it comes off, it's going to float on the surface. So no longer do you have to worry about it sinking down to the bottom of a pool. I like wearing it both from the front and the back. Compared to the Universal and the Blanco, this one feels really light on the head. It's molded a lot more to my head and doesn't offer its own sort of structure, so this is easy to crush. I like folding it down underneath the brim, and I would just stuff it in my cargo pockets in the bag. Water resistant and weatherproof. It's a lot more sealed than the breathable panels you get in the Universal and the Blanco, and it's just great weatherproofing for most everyday conditions. And if you find it's a little bit more gusty, adjust it in the back and that will thread underneath the material, so you still get that clean panel with no excess. The Ultra Suede is a step up in comfort, but you still get an amazingly light and comfortable packable hat, a white contrasting Getaway on there, and it just has still a really nice smooth feel, but the Ultra Suede being really plush against the head, a bit more like crinkly on the textile. So if you do prefer a smoother surface, then I would say the Ultra Suede is for you. It is slightly curved out the box, but again, I kind of just wear it flat or just as it is. And I like to wear it like this or with my sunglasses, and this is just going to switch from a more stylish to a more like functional, just as a typical hat. This is a great choice. Also looks awesome in the navy, but you got a bunch of different colors like the green, gray, black, and maybe even more. Here's a closer look at the PLH 2.0. This is in green and it's the Ultra Suede model. Give you the front, the same clean panel and stitching, kind of color matching as well. And the inside, we've got the Toray Ultra Suede with that debossed Getaway, just very plush, really nice to the touch. And also the under panel of the exterior. So you can match it like I do, or you can color block or change it up. But this green, really nice just to give a variation from the rest of my outfit. Like with the PLH 2.0, this Ultra Suede version, I would work it exactly the same. Awesome for traveling and also as an everyday. Besides that, the fit is exactly the same as the PLH 2.0. And as I mentioned, you have more of a smoother fabric textile, just some slight subtleties to go with the differences between them. And I kind of like wearing it towards the back as well. So again, PLH 2.0, great if you're someone that likes to reverse it, have it like snapback. You can really fold, bend, really packs down that EV brim. It doesn't matter. You can just stuff this in your pockets, even when you're going bagless. Retains its shape, comes back to life, and also floats on the water too. Looks really awesome. Now let's move on to the Scout. All right, so what can I say about the Scout? It's kind of like a camper hat. It definitely has that travel vibe going on, like camping, exploring the wilderness, and that's mainly to do with this just like a decorative braided thread across the brim. It still retains all the same Ultra Suede and features of the PLH 2.0. I really like this. It's something that's grown on me. It's not necessarily my style, but again, with the Getaway, this has a nice silhouette, the way it sits, the way it fits. That Ultra Suede, you've got some small eyelets, you've got a total of 6. It's also a 6 panel, and you've got the button on top like with the Universal. Besides that waistband, we've got this additional kind of like mesh layer towards the front. Like to wear as a snapback, reversed, looks good, feels really comfortable. So if you do want something that kind of has a bit more personality or character, this is a great one. Not much in terms of the changes or the details, but it does really transform the way that this looks. If I'm going for more of a hike, exploring around, then I'll definitely grab this because the Scout absolutely fits the bill. Finally, that leads me on to the Blanco. This pretty much is like your baseball hat. So this one I got it in the gray and the white just to kind of change it up a little. The gray front panel and the EVA brim, color matching nicely. And then the breathable panels on the side and the back. This looks pretty good. Again, it's got a similar shape to the Universal. So it's one that definitely feels and sits best when it's facing towards the front. Very airy, breathable side and back panel because of the mesh materials. The Toray Ultra Suede lining on the headband. You can see underneath the front, you still have that same mesh panel. Being semi-structured, you can still crush it down. It's just slightly thicker than the unstructured hats, so that's why it feels a little bit more substantial on the head. I'd probably say I like the Universal style more. So I would say the Universal has a more streamlined fit. I've got noticeably a little bit more airiness here, even though the headband is tight enough. So some slight differences on the fit. I would wear this similar to the Universal, just more when I'm going to be exercising, going to the gym, just working up a lot of sweat. This just a lot more breathable, and highly ventilated design than the others. So these Getaway hats, really awesome. If you want that plushness, then just going for the Toray Ultra Suede versions, just going to give you that extra step up in comfort. PLH 2.0, I love it just because it's the most travel friendly, it's the lightest, it's the most packable. Which one was your favorite? Let me know down in the comments. Happy traveling, Team KBA. I'll see you in the next one. But until then, keep being awesome. Peace. Hey!